All right. Welcome back to the Stereo Launch video. Looks like we are live again tonight, and we are going to be talking about recording electric guitars in your home studio and what I consider might be the best option for doing that for a lot of people. So, before we get started, if you find this video helpful, like what we're doing here, make sure you hit like and subscribe, all that good stuff. More videos coming out all the time about recording in your home studio, about guitars, songwriting, all that stuff. So make sure you hit like and subscribe, and make sure you hit that notification bell to be notified when those videos do come out. Also, I'm going to leave a link here in the comments down below and in the chat real quick. It goes right along with what we're talking about today, is recording loud guitars. If you got a tube amp or something like that, you want to crank up and get those tube tones, all that good stuff. There are ways of doing that in a home studio situation without bothering your neighbors. If you're in an apartment, or if you got kids asleep and you can only record at night, there are options. We're talking about one of them tonight, and in this download you can get for free, there are other options as well that I talk about in there. So make sure you check that out. And if you're watching with us right now, make sure you say hi in the comments as well. Love to see who's on, and throw out any questions you got. And also, if you're watching this later, make sure you leave questions in the comments down below. I'm happy to answer those as well. So today we are talking about what I consider to be one of the best options for recording your electric guitars in your home studio. If you got a tube amp like I do, especially if you got like a 50 watt-er, 100 watt-er, whatever that is. And that is going to be what is called a reactive load box. The one I have here is the Torpedo Captor. And so this is by no means the only one that's available out there. There are others that are very similar to this, do a little bit different things, like the UA aux box. That one's similar, but it's got a lot of stuff built into it. And there's actually a new version of the Captor called the Captor X, and it's got some features and stuff built into it as well. But this is the one I have. It's the old school one, and it works great for me. So real quick, how does this work? So it's pretty simple. This basically acts as your amp cabinet. So as you can see, I have my matching cabinet back there, my Egnator Tweaker 1x12, and it's sitting on top of my Avatar 2x12 oversized cabinet. And both of those sound really great. But when it gets late evening and stuff like that, I can't really crank those up if I'm wanting to record. So this is an option that I use a lot. And I have some friends that use these and other people I've talked to. It's been kind of a game changer for a lot of people with home studios. So basically, as you can see, I come out of the back of my amp like normal and plug into this as if it was an amp, as a speaker cabinet. So that's my speaker cabinet cable going straight into the input there. And you can come back out and go into an actual cabinet if you're using this live or whatever like that. You can do that. And it's also got a 20 dB pad on it as well you can use if you want to. And then on the front, it just has an XLR cable output right here, and that goes to my audio interface. And then because I'm running phantom power off my audio interface, see this little red light right here, that means the thing has power and it's good to go. You can actually use like a DC adapter thing. I never have, because I just run phantom power. It's just super easy, super simple, less wires, less cables and all that stuff. And it's got built-in cabinet emulation that's okay in a pinch, but I wouldn't rely on it. And volume, trim knob and all that kind of stuff. So this version is pretty simple compared to a lot of others, but it works really, really well. And then from there, when it goes in my audio interface in my recording software or whatever, I have cabinet simulator software running, and we're going to talk about that here in just a little bit. But there are three reasons why I think this is a great option for a lot of people in their home recording studio. And the number one reason is just volume. Even though this is only a 15 watt amp, if I start cranking that thing up and getting those tubes going, it can get pretty loud. It's pretty crazy loud. I used to have an old Mesa rectifier, and it's 50 watts, and that thing got stupid loud. And so it kind of became a problem inside the house. And so this gives me the option. I can record silent. So if I put on headphones, I can play and crank up my headphones. No one else can hear me, all that good stuff. Right now I'm running through my speakers. So it's got some volume, but it's nowhere near as loud as if this thing was cranked up. So that is a great option. Again, if you're in an apartment or the kids are asleep or whatever, you just have neighbors that like to complain, whatever. So the fact that it's quiet is a great thing about it. Another thing that's great about it is that you can actually use your amp and your pedals. So we have amp simulators software, and I use those sometimes too, and those do have that quiet factor like this does, where you can run just out of your speakers, or you can run through headphones or something like that. But this way, with this, you can actually use your amp. You may have spent a lot of money or a lot of time or a lot of effort finding the perfect amp, and this thing is your tone, and it does all the things you want to do, and so this allows you to use that. Same goes for the pedals as well. So you can use whatever pedals on your pedal board. If you got certain distortion pedals you like, you can use those. Certain reverbs or delays, and you got those running through your effects loop on your amp, you can use those as well. So that's all great options. Of course, in the amp simulator software, usually there's pedals, digital pedals in there, and for overdrive and for delays and all that stuff, but they're not yours. And it doesn't quite work the same as putting an overdrive pedal into a computer digital software amp sim. It doesn't quite work the same. So that's reason number 2, is you can use your own amp and pedals. And so reason number 3, we're going to get to playing here just now, and is you have options with cabinets and microphones and rooms and all kinds of things you may not have in your own home studio. So let me do a quick switch here. You're going to get like a, we're running live here. All right. So you're going to get a quick, like crazy screen thing here. I got to figure out how to make that a little more smooth, but that's what we got. So, there we go. Had to turn all the knobs. All right. So we have our amp going through here, and you can see, hopefully, yep, on my screen, I have the 2 notes torpedo wall of sound. This is a software that you get with the torpedo captor. And so it comes free with it. It's got quite a few cabinets that come with it. This is one that I like pretty well. It's the Tweed 2x12, and this is actually one you purchase separately, but it's really cheap. It's pretty inexpensive, but you have all these options here for all kinds of stuff. No matter what you want, you can probably find it there. And then you have different microphones you can choose from. So if you don't have a Royer 121, there's a emulation of it right there, an SM7B, 57, all that kind of stuff. You can see those there. And then also, right now, I'm just running a Tweed 2x12 on both of these, but you can do multiple amps, multiple cabinets, and kind of, do different combinations of all kinds of stuff. So if you want a 2x12, you got a 2x12 there. Say you wanted a 4x12, you can just switch over, find something like this, and pick something like that. So now we have a 2x12 with 57s. Oop, let me link those so we have both of them. There we go. So now they're... And so that may or may not be a sound you want or like. It sounds a little bright to me, but you can just take these microphones and you can move them off the cone a little bit if you want to darken it up. So there's all kinds of options like that, so you can really tweak your tone and get exactly the sound you like. Another great option with this is you aren't locked into this torpedo wall of sound software. You can use other ones as well. So if we turn that one off, we're going to kick on over here to the Miko. This is the free version. You can see it's giving me a warning. I'm using the demo version. This is from ML Sound Lab. It comes with one cabinet emulation, which is the Mega 412, which is going to be, I'm assuming, like a Massive Boogie 4x12. And right now I have a SM57 and a Royer 121 on this one. And this one sounds like this. Oh, let me turn it on. There we go. And so, again, if that's too bright or whatever, you can start moving these microphones around and you can darken it up and get the tone you're looking for that matches your song, your mix, your band, whatever that's going on there. So you can really do that. And you can add on more mics. There's mic 3, mic 4, mic 5. You can go nuts. And I really like this interface because you can see that speaker and you can just drag it around. It's got all kinds of options. And if you get the full license version, there's options for exporting if you use some of those other on the floor boards that take IRs and all that kind of stuff. So cool stuff there. Again, that's from ML Sound Lab. This probably isn't going to sound good. So another cool thing I do sometimes, just as for fun, say you don't have any of these, but of course you can always get a free one. Also with the Miko right here, it does have, if you buy the full license, there are 2x12s and there's other 4x12s and stuff like that in there as well. But say you want to do something completely different and you don't want to use a Mesa, whatever, and you just want, maybe you have something like AmpliTube. So this one, in my opinion, doesn't quite sound or work as good as some of the other options. But if you use it this way, I'll make sure that I'll pick a preset, make sure the stomp boxes are all turned off, make sure the amp is turned off because I don't want any amp tone, no inserts, no rack stuff, just the cabinet. That's all I want is the cabinet. And say, I don't know, you want to do an AC30 cabinet and you want to have it in the garage, whatever, and we're going to do like a clean tone in the garage with lots of reverb from the garage because that's the sound you want. Let's turn on AmpliTube. There we go. So, you have options there. You can switch, and you can do this in the other, in the torpedo wall sound too. You can switch different rooms. There's all kinds of studio rooms and stuff like that. So if you, and you can kill the room too if you want. Switch over here and we can just mute the room. All right. So you have that as an option as well. So just all kinds of cool things you can do with this, all kinds of cool things you can switch it out. One thing I almost did on accident, but just so you can kind of hear it, what this sounds like if you don't have the cab simulation on, this is kind of what it sounds like direct. Now let me kick on back over to me. There we go. This is what it sounds like direct if you don't have any emulation plugged in. Does not sound good at all. And so if we turn that torpedo wall of sound back on and I go back to my preset, boom. Sounds much better. And again, you can swap that out. Now, I've heard some people say, well, that doesn't sound exactly like this cabinet or this speaker or that microphone or whatever. I don't know. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. I think some of these guys that put this stuff out spend a lot of time trying to get the sound really close or exactly the same. But in my opinion, that doesn't really matter a whole lot just because it isn't about does it sound exactly like this speaker or this microphone, this cab. It's does it give me the sound I want, the sound I'm going for? And so in a lot of cases, yes, this does. So Again, if the volume is an issue at your home or your apartment, whatever, and you want to record guitars, the other thing is, if you got other people coming in, you're maybe you're recording your friends, or you got a client coming in. Another great option. What I did with this one time is I had a whole entire session in my studio. I have a one-room studio here. It's not super huge. We had drums, bass, and electric guitar all going tracking at the same time, and all in one room. If I'd put a microphone on that cabinet, then you're getting a whole lot of bleed into the drum microphones. You're going to get bleed from the drums into the guitar microphone and all that kind of stuff, which wasn't what I wanted. And this guy brought in this really cool old Vox AC30. It was crazy. It was awesome. But we plugged that into here and ran one of these cabinet emulations, and it sounded fantastic. And that way I was able to basically isolate everybody. The bass was isolated because it was running direct. Guitar was running direct into this. And then I was using my speaker cabinet emulation, and drums, of course, were nice and loud in the studio, but it ended up sounding really awesome and worked out really well. So that's another option as well. If you're in a small studio and you're tracking a full band, that these things can really come in handy in those situations. So anyways, again, let me know if you have any comments or questions. Leave those in the comments down below. Happy to know what you guys think about these. Have you ever tried one of these load boxes? Maybe you've tried a different brand or different, the aux box, or Shure makes one. Shure makes one, however you want to say that. And then, there's several other ones as well. So let me know if you've tried one of these before and how you use it. And hopefully that gives you a little insight on how these kind of work and the things you can kind of do and the options available to you. I know some people have never really used one or even really heard of them. So maybe this opens up some options for you in your home recording studio. Again, make sure you check out that free guide that I have. I left that in the comments section about how to record loud guitars in your home studio. This is one of the options. There are 4 more in there as well. And I also have a blog on my website. If you go to stereolaunch.com, you can check out my blog. There's more videos and articles and stuff on there on recording and stuff like that. So again, thank you so much for hanging out with me guys tonight, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one.